Can we get a round of applause for how stupid Colin Cowherd is? Episode of Bubba and the Old Man. The old man's not going to be with me for this video. He's asleep. Kind of a later video. He's back there getting some sleep before he has to go to work tomorrow. But I was back there playing Madden on my PlayStation and on that TV back there, and I was watching YouTube and listening to Colin Cowherd. Probably won't do any more after this because he was already on verge of losing me because he makes so many ridiculous takes, and I'm just trying to like he has his opinion, but you're not supposed to speak your opinion when you don't know what you're talking about, which is his main problem. He seems to me like more of a casual fan, and football's supposed to be his thing, but I don't know if he should be on the air talking about especially college football anymore. Because he said there's no buzz around Jarrett Stidham. I don't know why that matters. You're supposed to evaluate the player, not watch highlights. He said he only threw 18 touchdowns, but what he didn't mention was the fact that he had Kerryon Johnson in the backfield that year, who ran for 1,300 yards and tore up everybody. The man, Kerryon Johnson, he obviously has a lot of injury problems. But when he was at Auburn, one of the best Auburn running backs I've ever seen. I didn't watch Cadillac or, obviously I didn't watch Bo Jackson. One of the best Auburn running backs I've ever seen. I remember that stretch with Cam Petway, but he didn't sustain it for very long. But that's besides the point. He also said that Jarrett Stidham was behind an NFL offensive line. Auburn has had 3 offensive linemen drafted since 2015. 2 I'll just put up 3. 2 were 5th, 6th round picks. Jack Driscoll and Prince Tega Winoga. I don't even remember if he played behind Prince Tega, who was drafted in the 6th round. He did have Braden Smith, who was a 2nd round pick, one of the best tackles in the league out there in Indianapolis. That he has a point on. I don't believe he played behind Greg Robinson, but Greg Robinson obviously was a huge bust. He does not play behind an NFL offensive line at Auburn. Auburn for the past 10 years has just been a name. Outside of that one miracle year on the Gus bus with Nick Marshall at quarterback, they haven't had a team to really compete. Obviously, we as in Auburn, have had a couple teams. I think we've had one team that won 10 games a couple years ago with Jarrett Stidham, obviously. But outside of that, Auburn is just a name at this point. Since that Nick Marshall year in 2013, we haven't really done anything. Obviously, we beat Bama a few times, which has really served me very well, helped get me through it. But Jarrett Stidham, his best year at Auburn, threw for 3,158 yards, 18 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. I'm not saying that he's Brady, but as far as college goes, Brady's best season was his senior year at Michigan. 2,217 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Now, obviously, college football back then was different, and I guess Michigan may have been more of a running team. But I'm just saying, as far as numbers go, because that's apparently all Cowherd knows to go off of, except for highlights. That was Brady's best year. I just don't understand why he will speak on Jarrett Stidham when he doesn't know a thing about Jarrett Stidham. Colin Cowherd is paid to voice his opinion. But you're supposed to build an opinion off of facts. You're supposed to watch film, not highlights. Film on these players. I'm sure you can go find film on Jarrett Stidham with those hundreds of thousands at least, if not millions of dollars he's making. He could go set 10-15 minutes at least to go watch some film on Jarrett Stidham and actually make an accurate point with Jarrett Stidham. Now, obviously, if you don't think Jarrett Stidham's going to be a good quarterback, I think he'll just be a bridge quarterback for whoever they decide to draft next year. Unless, of course, they do what I think they're going to do, win 9-10 games, get a middle of the first round pick. You know, not many quarterbacks going to be there. Obviously, you have Trevor Lawrence, just feels coming out next year. I think a kid went to Georgia. We did a mock draft, and my dad had him in that. But people are saying they're going to tank for Trevor. That all depends on Jarrett Stidham. Now, obviously, Stidham, Cowherd made a solid point. Excuse me. New England doesn't have very good weapons. Excuse me. They drafted N'Keal Harry last year. Maybe he has a breakout year. You got Mohamed Sanu. You still have Julian Edelman, who's which Skip says is broken down. Still a very good receiver. Led the league in drops last year, which that can be predicated on Brady and a little bit of Edelman losing a step as far as athleticism goes, which he was never a great athlete to start with. But I think Stidham will have a decent year next year. I believe he'll throw for about roughly 3,000 yards, around 20-ish touchdowns. You know, as long as he can keep the interceptions at least between 10 to 7-ish. If you can keep them in there, I believe they'll be a good team. Run the football with Sony Michel. Drafted a safety out of a D2 school, but I think that'll be a good player. I forget his name. Kyle Duggar, that's his name. Still got Stephon Gilmore, one of the best, if the best, corner in the league, undisputed best corner in the league. Still got the McCourty brothers. Still got all that out there. Still got Dante Hightower. They lost Danny Shelton and Jamie Collins, of course, but Jamie Collins hasn't done anything outside of New England. Still got the kid they drafted last year, the edge rusher. I forget his name. Still have an elite defense out there in New England. So obviously, I think they'll win 9, 10, maybe 11 games. You never know when it comes to the NFL. But I just want to get on here and talk a little bit about Colin Cowherd and why I think his opinion on Jarrett Stidham is absolutely wrong. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Go follow us over on Instagram, Bubba and the Old Man. Make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll get as many videos out to you as possible. We just made a video about the situation with DeAndre Baker getting arrested. We also uploaded a video even like not too long before that. Talk about the NFC South and what our projections are for them. If you want to go watch those, go watch those. If not, that's okay too. If you liked it, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and my first solo video.